Howdy, howdy!
Tingle, tingle, Kulu Limpa.
And welcome to But It Was Aliens, the comedy podcast where we probe paranormal activity to decide for the questionable benefit of humanity whether that activity really was paranormal. Woo! My name is Mr. Kev in the John. And alongside me, with no idea what we'll be covering today, is Mr. Granville Moonwalker.
I walk on moons.
Today, we will be heading to a place barely seen by humans, undisturbed, if you will. That place is Antarctica.
Ooh.
More specifically, beneath Antarctica.
Ooh.
But still in Antarctica.
Ooh.
Antarctica. Antarctica is an interesting place. To even go there, you need a permit from a country that is a signatory to the Antarctic Treaty, which was established in 1961 to preserve the continent for scientific use. Military activity and prospecting are banned. That makes you quite safe in Antarctica. I mean, sure, the glacial temperatures, horrific winds, and generally inhospitable lands will kill you, but you'll be a safe dead.
What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger.
Antarctica is surrounded by rough seas, making it pretty difficult to access, and there is no permanent human population. It is the only continent without humans outside of tourism and science.
Ooh.
Vostok Station was established by the then Soviet Union on the 16th of December 1957 in Princess Elizabeth Land, an area informally claimed by Australia as Australian Antarctic Territory. This station is quite literally the coldest, reliably measured place on Earth. Vostok became somewhat notorious because in 1959 two scientists fell out over a game of chess and one hit the other with an ice pick, with it not clear whether the victim survived. Chess was subsequently banned at Soviet and later Russia research stations. We're not probing that though. The station is used for ice core drilling, magnetic field, climatology and radiation research. Officially.
Could you imagine getting so annoyed by a game of chess that you murdered someone?
So, you know our game of football last night where me and you got very annoyed with someone? I'm not saying I would have ice picked them. It's just lucky we don't have ice picks at football. Have I just changed your whole perception?
Yeah. I think I'm on board. I mean, if this person they play chess with, anything like the person we played football with, let's give them a medal.
For ice picking them?
Yeah.
Crikey.
Bloody cold in Antarctica.
Bloody cold.
I'd never go, because I hate the cold.
You couldn't.
Well, if I could, I never would, because I hate the cold.
You don't like the warm either.
No, I don't.
What do you prefer?
Like that middle ground.
But if you had to pick warm or cold?
What am I doing? Because if I'm playing football, I prefer it to be colder. If I'm just doing day-to-day shit, then like I quite like wearing shorts. So
It frees your balls.
Also easier to work out in. But I also hate playing football in the heat.
So what you're saying is you really don't have a preference.
No, I really don't.
It just depends on the activity. In
Why
1970...
can't we have like eternal spring?
Because we live on Earth.
But what if?
In 1974, British scientists in Antarctica undertook an airborne ice-penetrating radar survey and discovered that there was a freshwater lake below the ice at Vostok. This scan was confirmed in 1991 when European satellite ERS-1 turned its array towards the centre of the ice cap. This research was published in the Journal of Glaciology in 1993, and you can Google this. It turned out that this lake was one of the largest in the world and among 140 subterranean lakes in Antarctica. Scientists began outlining the lake with all the tools at their disposal, the coldest place on Earth and a lake inaccessible to humankind. This kind of place is tantalising for scientists. It's like a tingle suit when you're on a drought. The decision was made.
Is that what you use?
If only I had one.
Someone did ask me if I bought you one.
The decision was made. The lake would be accessed and analysed. Drilling begun by 1982, but there was more than 2 miles to penetrate, and this was not an easy dig. When I say not easy, I'm talking 30 years worth of drilling not easy. But science will not be deterred, and finally, on the 5th of February 2012, the lake was breached.
So you mentioned that it was published in the Journal of Glaciology in 1993, and you can Google this.
Yes.
There's going to be a point where we don't know if Google is real. Like, we're not going to have any books or journals to fact check anything. So it's going to get to the point where you just believe what's on Google.
Arguably, we are at that point already, but journals do and will continue to exist. What people just need to do is to...
bit more research.
Yes, use Google as a doorway to the legitimate research and not... basically check your sources, make sure you're reading a reputable site, not what someone's put on Reddit. Although if Reddit is the source of today's episode, that is absolutely fine, because Reddit can also be a source of valuable information. If...
So 30 years worth of drilling.
That's a big hole.
I mean, it depends, really. Because it's so cold where they are, how much drilling is possible in one particular time?
That's a question I don't know the answer to, because you're using mechanical drilling aids, so presumably they can go when it's real cold, but they would need some form of supervision at times.
Yeah.
And
how long can
is it
someone
only
be
in
there
season
for?
that people can supervise? It's a good question that I don't know the answer to, but I do know that it took 30 years.
It might be something where you can only drill for 1 week a year. Therefore, it takes 30 years. But
still a big hole.
And then if it breaks and needs maintenance or anything like that, replacement of parts. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever dug a hole?
Yeah.
You poop in the hole?
No. I've dug holes in many a place, my friend.
Have you bodies? Why did I pooped in a hole?
Have you pooped in a hole?
No.
Why did that come to your mind?
I don't know why that came to my mind. Chuck the body in there?
No, I'd need to have murdered someone, and I've never had a pickaxe.
Not necessarily.
Or an ice pick, whatever.
Buried them alive.
Haven't done that either.
Did you poop?
Did you poop in the hole? I've never even gone to a place where it has one of those toilets that's basically a hole in a...
Neither have I.
Yeah, so I've never pooped in a hole to my knowledge.
I've drunk too much.
You've set yourself off asking if I've pooped in a hole. I'm just going to continue.
Did they have a team that worked on this for 30 years, or did people do like 2-year stints,
bit of both,
stint, something like that?
Bit of both.
I suppose if you've led the research, you're going to want to see it all the way through.
Yeah, but equally, some people quit jobs and go on to other things and whatnot, so there's a natural turnover.
Okay. Because imagine like 30, What's your job? Drilling a hole.
You should see the poop I'm going to do at the end of it.
Every year. What are you doing? Still drilling that hole.
I'm really looking forward to that poop.
Satisfied.
Turn up to your child's parent career day to give you a talk.
Pooped in a hole.
Not yet. I've still got another 20 years of drilling, but I will. Oh, wow, your dad's really cool. Dr. Anton Podolka was part of the first scientific expedition deployed to explore the lake. From Vostok, the group would transport via a lift shaft down the ice core holes towards the lake. On that first trip, on the very first day of the expedition, as the scientists got close to the water and shined their lights around, it was discovered that there was an ice shelf beside the lake. It was almost as though it was an ice beach beside the sea. This made the perfect location to set up a camp. Before they knew it, ground control was sending down supplies to help the crew on their adventure. While setting up base camp, the group looked around and were astounded by the natural beauty of this water and ice cavern beneath the surface. The place was silent, eerily silent, except for the sound of dripping and rippling water. Within a few hours, it was time to enter the water.
They're going to find like a fucking spaceship in the ice or some shit, isn't they?
Well, that would be a spoiler, wouldn't it? The team split into small groups and headed to different areas of the lake. There was a check-in every few minutes.
Red team! G's had a whoopsie-oh-no in his suit, but all otherwise okay.
I missed the
Over.
hole.
I missed the hole!
It's just a little frozen turd at the side of the ice shelf. Sorry, guys. The reply comes.
Blue team, copy that. It seems unnecessary to share, but not unsurprising. 2 clicks east at 6 o'clock. Over.
After about the 12th check-in, Dr. Podolka noticed an unusual amount of static on the signal.
Red team, you hearing this? Did I ever tell you how handsome Greybeard is, by the way? Over.
All remained silent.
They knew it was bullshit.
Hey. You just focus on your little poop. That's weird, thought Dr. Podolka. No response. The doctor tried again. The radio cut out.
How far away were they? Were they like too far down for there to be signal?
We don't know.
Well, you do know.
Well, we don't.
You're just not telling me.
Because it cut out so they couldn't verify their location.
You rather be on red group or blue group at this point?
I would rather be on blue.
Okay. Good to know.
Why'd you say that?
Just asking a question. Just asking a question. Did they have the gear to make a rescue if they needed to? Or were these people lost to whatever took them?
So this was a base in Antarctica, so they had lots of gear up top and they were funneling gear down towards them, so they could have gotten some gear, but they might not have fully got it in at the point where it transpired.
Okay.
They didn't have toilets down there.
It's a shame.
They had dig little holes.
Diglets.
As Dr. Podolka gave his radio a few jabs to encourage the connection, he noticed that the water seemed to be rippling a little harder. Dr. Podolka looked all around the lake, but it was so dark outside of the artificial light of the team's devices and their small beams shooting in a small straight line into the air that it was difficult to make out anything. But then, something may have moved. Dr. Podolka wasn't sure, but he could have sworn there was a dark mass just ahead of him under the water. As the doctor focused in on the area, there it went again. They were not alone. Podolka called out to his colleague,
There's something in here!
The colleague responded, sounding as if he was about to question what Dr. Podolka meant, but just then, the dark mass in the water was back, and from 150 foot away, some kind of inky venom shot through the water straight towards the researcher. The scientist trailed off mid-utterance, appearing to be immediately paralysed. Being paralysed in water is not a good place to be paralysed. Well, nowhere is a particularly good place, but being in water, sadly, the researcher didn't make it back to the ice shelf. Mainly because this dark mass, this organism, closed in and devoured the scientist. The researcher was treading water, bobbing away with a slight smile on his face, blissfully unaware that he'd been poisoned and the beast was closing in. As Dr. Podolka watched on while slowly swimming backwards towards the shelf, the creature tore off the man's head with its tentacle-like arms and scooped up the rest of the researcher before dropping him in its huge mouth. Gobble gobble. Podolka would later tell Base that it was as if the colleague had been hypnotised telepathically. Such was the power of the toxin. The beast submerged too deep into the depths to be seen as Dr. Podolka awaited the return of his colleagues.
Would you rather
Who in a hole or...
just be murked or paralysed first?
I'd rather go instantly.
But what if it wasn't instant?
Then I'd rather be... If you can't move, can you feel?
I don't know because I've never been paralysed.
I'm guessing this person couldn't feel.
But is that because of the poison rather than the paralysis?
Both.
So, paralysed
Yeah?
and feel everything,
No. I don't want to feel
or just murked?
murked. But a quick murking. As quick as possible, in fact.
But the murking is 5 times longer than the paralysis.
Paralysis. I don't want to
Poo in a hole or paralysis?
Go in the hole.
Drunk too much. Do you like pina coladas?
Do. I really don't. Mr. Moonwalker. The events
Mr. John.
were not over. Surface Base commanded the group to make another dive and work out what happened.
Get fucked, Surface Base.
They wanted this thing. Or at least to know what this thing was. That's how they should have responded.
I'd have been like, get your asses down here then. I'm out. Where's my hold?
But it's a... You know, if a creature like this is seen, them scientists, probably funded by the military, are going to either want to get the beast...
Yep.
Or, well, there's no either, is there? They're going to want to get it. The group, therefore, dived back into the lake the next day and split up again to entice the creature back towards them. Dr. Podolka and a colleague headed to one side of the huge lake, shining their torches as they examined every angle of the lake as far as they could see. The group kept in radio contact every minute, but after a few check-ins, silence fell over the radios once again. It was at this point that Dr. Podolka saw one of his colleagues in scuba gear heading towards them. Thank God the beast hadn't got them. As the scuba dude got closer, something seemed off. Dr. Podolka's team member and partner for this trip swam towards the scuba diver, and as they got close, they realised that it was not a scuba diver. It was the organism. Had it shapeshifted somehow? Or just manipulated its soft octopusy body to emulate the shape of a diver from a distance? Either way, it was an intelligent behaviour, and it was too late to do anything. Dr. Podolka resurfaced and swam for the shoreline once again as the beast tore the other researcher, Podolka's partner, to pieces. Another member of the team had by this time made it nearby, and the organism turned to the motion of their faster movement. The researcher had a knife prepared, and as a tentacle wrapped around him, the researcher managed to lop the tentacle arm clean off the body of this organism. The beast recoiled, and the researcher was able to escape to the surface with the arm.
They lopped it off and carried away the arm.
Yeah, that's what they did, yes.
Did they awaken a prehistoric beast, or is this just a giant octopus?
So, I'm going to get into that, coincidentally, in the very next section, but that's a very good question. This is somewhere that's been preserved from time almost, locked underneath many, many meters of ice. So evolution potentially would have taken a different path.
It's a mystery!
Would have taken a different path down below as to what it would have up above.
Because there are still so many creatures in the sea that we have no idea, like, what they are.
I may get into that later as well.
So this could have just been a form of octopus that they've just stumbled upon its feeding ground.
They've stumbled across the feeding ground of an apex predator.
Yes. Okay.
Have you noticed when we get drunk, we make increasing amounts of wrestling references? Yep. Are you ready for the next section?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Yeah! The researchers had gotten a good look at the creature by this point.
What?
I said the researchers had gotten a good look at the creature by this point. The beast was 10 meters long, which is about 33 foot. It was squid or octopus-like with many tentacles, possibly 14 and maybe even more.
Ooh, yeah!
Antarctica is actually home to colossal squid, the largest squid species in the world in terms of mass. They can be up to 50 foot long and weigh possibly...
And 7 feet tall!
And they weigh...
Can't
teach that. And they weigh possibly up to 1,500 pounds, more than 107 stone.
Damn.
Imagine one of these giant bastards, but immediately deadly and with a permanently pissed off temperament. Both squid and octopus are intelligent species, and as we mentioned, this apex beastie had displayed high levels of intelligent behaviour.
Isn't an octopus one of the most intelligent creatures in the world?
Supposedly.
Right.
But I've never seen them sit a GCSE. Tell me what X is here, you little prick. It gets it right.
They fucking wrote it, that's why.
That night, the group who were still stationed on the ice shelf were woken up by a curdling scream. Many of the researchers rushed to where the scream had originated to be greeted by the sight of the dismembered tentacle from earlier wrapped around a researcher's throat. It was alive! The tentacle was strangling her, and within seconds, she was lifeless. The researchers, without thinking, took their pickaxes and sliced the tentacle into tiny pieces as it slid along the ice. Problem dealt with, but 0-3 to the organism.
How long had it been detached from the body?
Several hours.
I wonder if it's like a muscle memory type thing in the tentacle. So let's say, for example, it gets a bit warmer where they are, so the nervous system in the tentacle starts to move, and then maybe she's gone, what the hell is that? Somehow touched it, and from muscle memory it's just wrapped around the nearest, or just wrapped around her and tightened.
Yeah,
because that's what the tentacle would normally do. Same way, if you lop a chicken's head off and put its body down, it will still run off
for a while.
Yeah, and then it will.
So
I wonder if that same thing happens in a octopus tentacle.
There's that old wives' tale about if you cut a worm in half, both sides can survive. That's not actually entirely true, because only one side has a mouth.
Yeah.
But if both sides can survive for a time, so you've got a butthole floating around for a while. But yeah, it depends on who knows what the nervous system is made up of in this creature. It could be that it has several hearts, for example.
Because I've watched films where, Old Boy. In Old Boy, he eats a squid live. And whilst he's chomping through the squid, the legs are still trying to wrap and move. So I wonder if it's a nervous system thing.
Could be. HQ had been in touch and confirmed that they wanted the beast
Of course they did.
captured. Of course they did. A few days later, the group returned to the water again, but this time the group took a giant tank with them they'd spent those days constructing. Remember, they were beneath a research station, and so there were plenty of materials being shafted down to utilise to their advantage now that they knew what they were dealing with. On top of that, the researchers squadded up with every firearm they could muster. This was war. War! We don't actually really know what happened next because it's not really detailed.
One man survived.
I assume the tank was laid in wait in the water above its lid. The men treaded water in front of the tank, and then when the beast approached, the tank was dropped and the creature captured, but we can't be sure. All we do know is that when the group returned to the surface, after a total of 5 days down at the lake, they were greeted by Russian officials in full military apparel who immediately seized the tank. We'll take it from here, folks. These guys were suited and booted, and there was no argument to make. The beast was gone. Russia announced to the world that following the exploration at Vostok, nothing had been found in the lake.
If this was a giant squid octopus like thing, could you attempt to open the lid and somehow get it to go inside the tank and then close the lid and it's just in the tank?
Yeah.
And then be like, right, put the tank up, boys. But what would you lure it in with? Its own tentacle?
Yeah, they threw the tentacle back in. It wanted to connect it back.
But then
It's got to be food, hasn't it?
But what? You've got to know exactly what its dietary requirements
Well,
are.
it was eating humans. So I'm guessing
who's going to
meat.
sacrifice themselves to go in there?
They could have cut a badger or something.
An Arctic badger.
Something fleshy.
But then you've also got to... You've got to not be careful, but I suppose it could try and reach in with a tentacle first before it goes in fully itself. So if it can sense it with a tentacle and whip it, it would do that.
Yeah. But as you mentioned earlier on, we continue to discover beasties to this day.
We do indeed. Many a beastie. Why, if I had a partner down there, you're not dealing with one.
Oh.
You're dealing with multiple.
Like that film that I'm not going to spoil the name of to give away the ending.
Have I seen it?
I don't know.
You can't mention the film name
Well,
now, 'cause
now
you'll
I'll spoil it to you. It's about a sea beastie.
I ruined it.
That could be anything. That could be Jaws.
Did I tell you the Jaws tattoo I'm getting?
No.
I nearly got it last week. I'm going to get it after football, like on a Saturday. But, so where your sock line is, I'm going to have the swimmer. So with the socks up, you can see the swimmer. And when you pull the sock down, it's going to be Jaws. And it's just going to have a caption saying nom nom. Fucking awesome.
Dr. Podolka, after returning to Russia, quickly fled the country for Switzerland and diplomatic immunity. The doctor believed that the military planned to weaponize the creature and was scared that, as a witness to the discovery, he would be silenced. The weaponization would take place through both using the organism's venom, which remember was effective from 150 foot away, and allegedly the Russian military considered unleashing the beast on their enemies. Dr. Podolka was horrified by that possibility because a giant octopus can lay between 120,000 and 400,000 eggs in one go, and squids about 20,000. Imagine 20,000 of these killer frickers on the loose. It only takes one mistake and boom, these things have overrun the oceans. Interestingly, in 2019, Russia begun replacing the Vostok facilities. It's not clear whether this was to repair damage caused, simply to modernise, or to keep something in.
Is this the original Kraken? I wouldn't say the original, but is this the Kraken?
No, it could be something similar. I was going to say earlier on, the colossal squid was only discovered in 1925. So that's not really that long ago.
Actually, wasn't it the colossal squid that they originally mistook for the Kraken?
Was it the colossal or the giant? Because the colossal is the biggest in terms of it's the fattest, like the massiest. It's got a massive body, but there's another type of squid that's actually
really long, bloody
longer,
long.
really longer, but slimmer. So it's actually the biggest, but it's not the massiest, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think it was, I forget which one it was, but either way, absolutely giant. Not blue whale, but...
Imagine there's a squid that could strangle a blue whale. That would be frightening.
Yeah, that's not a thought I want to have.
Does this venom, because it works from like 150...
A long way away, yeah.
Was it 150 yards, did you say?
150 feet.
Does it work like a gas?
Hard to say because the beast is a water beast, so it's always gone through water, but theoretically...
Because if it works from 150 feet away, either gas or via smell. Because if you were to weaponize it, would you, let's say, for example, if I was to put it on this table here and then everything 150 meters around was affected by it.
Yeah.
Feet, sorry. 150 feet away would be affected by it. Would it be like a gas cloud that's gone out? Or
so, potentially yes, but you wouldn't necessarily be able to see it.
Like air.
Yeah.
So airborne poison.
Potentially. I mean, arguably, if it's travelling through water at 150 foot to travel through air in which there'd be less resistance, it might be even more extensive. The effects might be greater or the distance might travel further. Who knows? And that's obviously if it is gassy. If this thing basically jizzes out poison, then perhaps not.
That's 150 foot jizz. Jizz dart.
You know, if you like get oil in water, it spreads and is nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't know.
Yeah.
We've covered the events, and it is now time to ask, can we disprove this incident with science? First up, ice core holes. Ice core drilling generally makes a hole, or tunnel, literally a few inches in diameter. This would not be wide enough to travel something like 2 miles through to access and return from a lake with a tank big enough to house a 30-foot creature. You'd need a specific hole built for that purpose. That makes us think this tale may not be entirely factual, but playing devil's advocate, it is entirely possible those at Vostok were doing much more than drilling ice cores. The place is isolated and nobody would know. However, on the harder to counter side, these folks were many, many foot below the surface in a lake under ice. A cavern and shelf between the ice and water in the way described isn't really plausible. Meanwhile, the only way to survive in such an environment, more specifically at such pressures underwater, would be to be in a pressurized vessel or suit. In such a watertight, pressurized suit, no toxin would be able to get inside. Similarly, a human at these depths in scuba gear would be dead. Admittedly, some of these scuba divers did wind up dead, but they lived much longer than scientifically plausible. Dr. Podolka has not been found since this event. Did they whack him? Finally, it's been claimed that this story was written by author C. Michael Forsyth as a satirical news article in Weekly World News on the 25th of September 2012. Claimed.
Now, did they put that out to cover their tracks?
That is a really interesting thought, because that would be the easiest way to do it, wouldn't it? Just to say, oh, this was just a joke.
This was just bullshit.
This was just a bit of fiction for fun.
And Dr. Podolka, has he not been found because he's been whacked, or did he change his name and goes by another name?
Dr. Podolki.
Hiding. Like, how old is Dr. Podolka? Do we know?
No.
Is he really Lucas Podolsky?
Pretty confident.
Shut up. So who is Michael Forsyth?
An author.
Is he the son of Bruce?
Nice to see ya.
To see ya, nice. Pardon me. But you didn't answer my question.
No.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Is this bullshit?
I'm going to leave you to conclude on that, aren't I?
Spool.
In summary, we've covered the case of Organism 46B. Antarctica researchers discovered that there was a subterranean lake beneath the surface, and after about 30 years, scientists broke through. Examining the lake, those researchers were attacked by a creature that had roamed the lake undisturbed by humanity for potentially millennia. An apex predator, similar to a giant octopus and colossal squid, only more evil and more pissed off. The creature paralysed the diver from 150 foot away and ate his head. The creature also fooled another diver to come too close by assuming the shape of a scuba diver itself. Another scientist managed to cut one of the organism tentacles off, and that night, the dismembered tentacle strangled a third scientist. HQ demanded that the creature be caught. The scientists created a tank and somehow did manage to capture the beast. The Russian military then seized the creature for nefarious purposes. One of the main scientists defected from Russia in fear they would be silenced and told their story. A story written by C. Michael Forsyth, it turns out, because the science didn't add up in this one. Before we conclude, I'll leave you with this. What happened to the previous 45 organisms?
I suppose that depends on what they class as the previous 45.
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Was an orangutan in that previous 45?
Always.
Like, were they the 45 that were unknown, but then once they became known, they just got names? Like a skunk. porcupine, that kind of
So
thing.
they only found 45 creatures on Earth.
Might have just been ones that they were like heard stories of and then confirmed what they were.
Like gorillas.
Yeah. Also, what I would like to ask is, this was the 1990s, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of.
2000s, yeah.
Was this propaganda from America at the time? Like during the Cold War? Was this part of any of that?
I couldn't say that it was. Are you ready to conclude?
One more question.
Go on then.
Are you one of the 45?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I really thought you were going to ask me if I'd like to poo in a hole or something to that effect.
No. I'm ready to know.
Are you saying that it was octopusy? Are you squidding?
Now, are you asking me if this event was real or what the creature was?
Whether it is real.
No.
Because I think the first negates the second.
I do not believe that this is real. However, if I am incorrect in that assessment, I believe that what they did find wasn't a creature of anything extraterrestrial and was probably just a giant squid that they pissed off.
Yeah, pretty much on the same page. This story is a story. I was somewhat flabbergasted to discover threads on the internet of people debating if this was real, questioning whether the author was really an author and whether he based a story on a true story. It's taken on a whole life of its own on the internet, but every source I read makes quite clear that this was a short story written by the author for his pretend news website. You are most welcome for wasting your time. I will say though, whilst this case may not be true, we do continue to discover previously unknown species as we've mentioned, and I think it is entirely possible that there could be further giant species out there. Final thoughts, Mr. Moonwalker?
What's the worst giant species you would like to be discovered?
I would like to. I can give you the first that I'd hate to.
What's the worst that you would like to? Made no sense. What's the one that you would not like to be discovered?
Giant
And then
wasp.
What's the one that you would like to be discovered?
Bigfoot. Be cool if Bigfoot was real, wouldn't it?
It would be cool, to be fair.
In some ways, that would be cooler than Nessie to me. Just thinking of our classic cryptids.
For me, worst.
Giant spider.
Yep. Best.
Giant.
Killer whale.
Killer whale has been discovered.
But a giant one.
Oh, I've got some news for you.
Like one bigger than a blue whale.
The blue whale is the biggest creature to have ever existed, isn't it? So,
Exactly. So imagine a bigger killer whale. Awesome.
I'm just trying to think of anything else giant that would be awesome, horrific now.
A lion. One that you could ride on.
Wouldn't want to.
Like, you imagine, just going to work. You just got to work on a lion.
I'd rather go to work on a dog because dogs are friendlier. Giant dog.
Yeah, but who's to say that lion wouldn't be?
The lion.
The lion went lion. I lost a leg. It went lion.
That is a wrap for today. I think you're broken. Thank you for listening to But It Was Aliens. If you would be interested in supporting the show, you can head on over to the darkest corner of the internet over at patreon.com/But It Was Aliens and sign up to become a patron of the show. If you do, you will gain access to the side probes, where each month we probe wider paranormal history, mystery, and conspiracy. You can become a patron for quite literally less than a cup of coffee. Coffee? You can share episode suggestions with us on the X Twitter.
On the Twitter.
But it was aliens.
Also known as...
You could also say hello on Facebook. We're connected to But It Was Aliens, a secret public private group called Being a member of extraterrestrial towers grants you protection from the aliens when they invade. It does not protect you from organisms, though, to which there are allegedly several roaming the towers, and we ask that you do not approach them unless myself and Mr. Moonwalker are nearby, in which case do approach them unarmed. You'll be fine, and we will not use you as a distraction to escape. I'll absolutely throw down one of these things. After you. Also, unrelated, if anyone knows a giant octopus trainer, do get in touch. That is it for this episode. So until next time, do fish get thirsty? The truth is up there. #,